couple of days ago I ended up taking down the fiberglass on the outside of the panel to below the surface again, mixed up some filler and obviously stuck it in there to let it dry so I can have a go at sanding that down. As the filler was already in the pot mixed up, I suddenly remembered that I hadn't actually had a go at cleaning this up yet, so I quickly took some of this outside material off of here, put the filler on there. I had to put some tape on the inside because all the filler was going through the hole that was there for the indicator. Haven't yet actually put any fiberglass on the inside of here, so I need to do that as well. But if I can get some of the excess off of here and over there using the orbital sander, it's going to give me a good start on it, so let's see how I get on. Right, the repair to the bottom corner is complete. Rubbed the filler down, got it reasonably true to the rest of the bodywork. Obviously we put the hole back in there again for the number plate mount. I've just gone over and hit the whole of the body with a 500 grit on an orbital sander with a little interface pad to try and take the sort of glaze off of the fiberglass, to try and get a bit of a bite when we use a filler primer. I'm going to go with the filler primer because there are some marks like this where obviously the original gel coat wasn't completely fault free, and obviously the filler primer is going to nicely sort of drop into those. So I'm going to coat the whole of the panel with that and then give it a light rub down to get it nice and smooth. And I've just gone over it, just cleaned it all off with the pre-paint wipe again and some of the white cloths to try and get rid of all the dust that's on there. And then I'm going to also put a primer on the underside, and then probably do both sides. It will end up being satin black. So yeah, it's progressing, it's coming along. As you can see, I've been given some coating of the Halford's Finest filler primer to the nose cone. This stuff will obviously lay in any cracks or nicks that are just too small to take any filler. You start off with just give it a bit of a dusting, and then literally just mean a bit of a dusting and then leave it for that to sort of bite in a little bit rather than load on too much paint first of all. You just build it up in very small layers. So that's probably had a can's worth of filler primer over about maybe 2 or 3 coats or attempts, with an appropriate amount of time between to let it sort of flash off and dry. And now I'm going to go over it again just with a little bit light and just build up a bit more. Then I'm going to get some wet and dry out just to start taking the edges off it a little bit, just to bring us down a little bit, and then obviously the paint or the filler primer will lay into the cracks and stuff. And then we can go decide later on if there's any other areas that might need some more attention, or if not, come back with some grey primer just to build up a little bit more, and then obviously carry on with a bit of wet and dry and give us a nice key later on for the top coat. But yeah, it's getting there, coming together. So it's the next day, and the few coats of filler primer that I put on have had a nice time to dry. I did notice after doing the last coat yesterday that putting the filler primer on has actually highlighted some areas that I haven't really done enough work on. So there's a little lip here which is an original sort of resin mark that was in the original mould when the nose cone was put in. So there's a little bit of a lip. I did try and take a lot of them off, but I obviously missed that area there. A little bit more down here. That bit's probably going to be hidden by the bonnet anyway, so I will go back in and just rub this down a little bit more just to try and get rid of these edges that's visible here. It's a little bit, a little, what I can only describe as sort of blow hose here. They may take a little bit of filler in there rather than try and build them up continuously with this spray primer. I loaded quite a lot up on the underside of this lip here, because I could still see the area where I'd actually taped off. So there's quite a bit on there now, so that should come out reasonably smooth. And it's probably about it, so it's not too bad. There's a little area there that I did notice I'd obviously missed, so I need to put a little bit more filler in that, sand it down again, and again we've got another line here. So I've got a bit more work to do just to tidy these up a little bit, because I want the end product to look a little bit better than that than it will do at the moment. So not quite there yet, a little bit more rubbing down to do. So I spent some time earlier on with the Dremel with one of these little attachments, one of these sort of flat wheels that you've seen me use earlier on, just to take this edge off all the way along here. I found that when I used just wet and dry or production paper, all it was doing was taking the paint off and not actually getting into the fiberglass, obviously the fiberglass being harder. So that little attachment on there, just concentrating on the edge. Hopefully I've removed the excess material that was actually in the original resin layup. As you can see, I put a bit more filler in there once I've cleaned out that hole a bit more. A little piece over there as well, which I literally just pushed into the hole with my finger. I'm hoping enough pressure on there has actually given me the what I needed to fill up with those two little gas holes that were there. And again, I've just done exactly the same on that side. So as it's quite late in the evening now, I'm going to end up just putting some more spray filler on here, or spray primer, sorry. And again over on this edge here, just that bit. And I'll leave this to be rubbed down, and maybe you might have to put a bit more filler in there once you've actually rubbed it down if you've got any more little gas holes. So I'm going to leave that one till tomorrow, and same here. I'm going to rub this down gently and do exactly the same there. It's just to start to get the filler back up again, or the spray filler back up there again. And hopefully next time I do it and sand it down, it'll look a lot better than it did a little while ago.